Sharon Webb is the team leader of the Webb Realty Group with Coldwell Banker Advantage. Recently, she was featured in Triangle Real Producers magazine, and her team have won numerous Coldwell Banker International Awards over the years. I sat down with Sharon in this interview to get her insights about the real estate industry, to learn how she manages a 5-person team and why she started a real estate team, and to also get her insights about how she manages a busy schedule and what we all know is a very high-demand career. Check out the interview. So Sharon, I'm so excited to get to interview you because every time we have a conversation, you are always so full of insights and knowledge. You always bring so much value to the conversation. So thank you so much for doing this interview.
Absolutely.
First of all, I've got to say congratulations on being featured in Triangle Real Producers magazine.
Thank you. It was very exciting, obviously, when they called and said that they wanted to feature me. And it's fantastic for my business because it just puts more, I guess, recognition on what we do, what I do every day.
Yeah.
And I love working with my clients. And then it also, that particular magazine goes out to our peers. So it's kind of nice to be recognized by the peers.
It was a great photo of you and your team, by the way.
Yes.
It was really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, she did a great job.
Yeah.
Photographer did a great job.
And of course, you've been a Coldwell Banker, you and your team have been a Coldwell Banker award-winning team for, I don't know how many years it's been now, but a long time,
Yeah.
which is a
every
huge
year.
achievement.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I was looking in the article, and you mentioned in the article that you wish you gotten into real estate 10 years earlier. You come from a background of corporate advertising and marketing. So what inspired you to make that transfer into real estate, and how has your background helped you, with your real estate career?
So my previous career was also a commission sales where I was an independent contractor. So I had a lot of freedom with my schedule. And then I had the ability to kind of make as much money as I wanted, very much like real estate.
Okay.
So when they were changing around their divisions, they were closing the division that I was in, and they wanted me to go into another division, but they were going to start me at a lower pay grade, and I had to travel more. I was like, no, wait, this is the perfect opportunity to check out real estate. So that's when I dove in, and it was kind of right after the bubble, right after when things were bad because of the mortgage stuff.
Yeah. And you talked about in the article too, how you and your team prioritize learning, that you're never stopping learning.
Right.
And not only does that mean for the typical CE classes that of course every real estate agent has to take, but also the, staying up to trends on the market trends, right? Staying up to date on the technology and different things. How do you all just manage to take the time to prioritize learning within your team, and how does that help you with your business when you do?
Well, so the CEs are really great, that we always have to do that, but there's so much better, I feel like better education out there with industry leaders, and our industry changes constantly. It's constantly, we learn something and then, the rules can change or whatever. So I just think you have to stay in front of that and, get as many designations and learn as much as you can and constantly flood yourself with current information as it changes. So I teach, I do it, and I think I like to lead by example, and so my team follows the same.
And your team, speaking of your team, you've got 5 experienced, talented real estate agents on your team.
Yes.
And thinking back, you've formed Webb Realty Group. How many years ago now was that? It was probably
9, I think.
9
I think
years
it was
ago?
9. Casey was the first, yeah.
So what made you, when you got into it, say, you know what, I want to form a team instead of doing it on your own?
Right. I think, again, going back to my marketing, I was the manager of 25 straight commission salespeople across the East Coast. So I had a team that I managed, and I really enjoyed it. I loved mentoring, I loved teaching, and I loved seeing people grow. So it was kind of a natural. And I remember when I interviewed with Coldwell Banker Advantage, and I told Eddie Arbic that I did want to build a team. I think in my first interview that was ultimately my goal.
Right.
Took me a couple of years. I had to learn my own chops first, but.
And now you've got a team of 5, 6 including you now.
Yes.
How do you go about, just thinking about team cohesiveness and making sure that, the quality of the service you provide is consistent through, every transaction? What's kind of the techniques that you use to help, one, identify good team members, because that's equally important to the culture of the team to make sure you're bringing on people that are a good fit, but also making sure that, your service is consistent no matter who's, representing the team?
So it's a kind of a mix of things. I think that I have teammates that have very high standards themselves. And so we want the best photographers. We want, we just want all of these steps to be as smooth as possible, and that we're all doing kind of the same thing there. Yet each one of us runs our own business individually.
Right.
And so I always wanted to build my team that way, and really I just want to support them. They all have different needs, right? And they are at different skill levels, although I feel like they're all top producing agents. So it's a little bit different for each one.
Outside of real estate, you got different charitable endeavors you're involved in. Of course, you like spending time with family, your pets, you've got dogs that you love very much. How do you manage, kind of the work-life balance? I think that's something that many real estate agents struggle with in this industry because it's such a high-demand industry, right? Where, it's kind of like you could be working, weekends, nights, right? Kind of 24/7 mentality if you don't set those limits. So what's a strategy that you've kind of developed over the years that's helped you, make sure that you're, looking after yourself, your well-being, and setting that time to do those things outside of real estate?
So I think the longer you're a real estate agent, you get better at managing the time and the tasks that you have to do on a daily basis. I actually block time to show homes for my buyers, even when I don't have a buyer, so that if a buyer calls me, I have time on my calendar already planned to do that. And then I also schedule a day off every week. Occasionally I do have to work a little bit on my day off, but I don't feel like I'm working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at all. I think I have a lot. And then if I don't have open houses on a weekend, sometimes I have the weekend off and then I can hop in a car and go to the beach.
Right.
I use Google Calendar, and I have multiple calendars. And so I just really compartmentalize time, and I time block.
I think that was an important thing you said about Google Calendar because Google Calendar does so much. Sometimes people feel, oh, I've got to go invest in these different time blocking, programs and all that. But Google Calendar is free, first of all, which is super nice. And you can do the color coding tasks. But just having that system to manage your schedule and sticking to it, that's the challenging part.
Yes. And I use multiple calendars. So like we have a team calendar, I have my personal, and then I have real estate. And they just overlay on top of each other. And you can turn one off if you're focused on something else. So, yeah.
So thinking about the future of Webb Realty Group. What are you envisioning? Where would you like to be from where you are now, and how will you continue to evolve?
So we want to continue, obviously, the level of service that we have been doing. We are doing a little more luxury focused, but we still work in all price points. I think it's really important that we service all price points. And then I don't know if we'll grow agent-wise much bigger, maybe one or two more agents, but I mean, we're not looking to be, like a power team. We want to be really good at what we do and just continue to focus on what we have, which is client service.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool that you mentioned that too, because it's about the quality, and not just about getting how big you can get, because that's more stress, more managed, but really focusing on the quality and everything. Well, congratulations to you and your entire team. Every time I work with any one of your team members, I always enjoy it because they're so great to work with, and that speaks a lot to the quality of the team that you've put together over the years. So congratulations to you and the Webb Realty Group.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.